The year is 1861. America, a young nation founded on the ideals of liberty and equality, is torn apart. Brother fights brother in a brutal civil war. The issue at stake, the freedom of enslaved people and the very survival of the Union. At the helm of a nation in crisis stands Abraham Lincoln, a man of humble origins and unwavering conviction. Lincoln's story is one of the most remarkable in American history. It is a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of leadership, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. From his humble beginnings in a log cabin to his tragic assassination, Lincoln's life is an inspiration to us all. His journey is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can triumph over despair. It shows us that even in the face of adversity, one person can make a difference. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln, the president who saved America. Abraham Lincoln's life began in obscurity. He was born on February 12, 1809, in a log cabin in Hodgenville, Kentucky. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, were poor farmers. They struggled to make ends meet in the rugged wilderness of the American frontier. Young Abraham had little formal education. He spent his days working on the family farm, helping with chores and attending school sporadically. However, he possessed a thirst for knowledge. He taught himself to read and write, devouring every book he could lay his hands on. Despite his humble circumstances, Lincoln yearned for something more. He dreamed of a better life, not just for himself, but for all Americans. This desire for self-improvement and his deep sense of justice would shape his character and guide his future path. Lincoln's early life was a constant struggle against poverty and hardship, but these challenges forged within him a spirit of determination and resilience. He learned the value of hard work, the importance of education, and the power of perseverance. Driven by ambition and a thirst for knowledge, Lincoln left his family's farm in his early 20s. Born into a humble family, Lincoln's early life was marked by hard work and limited formal education. Despite these challenges, he was determined to carve out a better future for himself. He moved to Illinois, a young state brimming with opportunity. The vast, untamed land of Illinois represented a new beginning, a place where dreams could be realized and ambitions pursued. There he took on various jobs, working as a storekeeper, postmaster, and even a rail splitter. Each job, though humble, taught him valuable lessons about perseverance, responsibility, and the importance of community. These experiences exposed him to people from all walks of life, broadening his horizons and shaping his understanding of human nature. In the general store, he interacted with farmers, traders, and townsfolk, each with their own stories and struggles. At the same time, Lincoln's interest in law and politics grew. He spent countless nights reading law books by the dim light of a candle, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desire to make a difference. He studied law independently, eventually becoming a successful lawyer known for his honesty and integrity. His legal career was marked by a commitment to justice and a reputation for fairness, earning him the respect of his peers and clients alike. His eloquence and sharp wit earned him a reputation as a formidable debater. Whether in the courtroom or on the political stage, Lincoln's ability to articulate his thoughts clearly and persuasively set him apart. He entered the political arena, serving in the Illinois legislature and later in the U.S. House of Representatives. His political career was driven by a deep sense of duty and a vision for a united and just nation. It was during this time that Lincoln emerged as a staunch opponent of slavery. He spoke out against the institution with a moral clarity that resonated with many, positioning himself as a leading voice in the abolitionist movement. He believed that it was a moral abomination, a stain on the nation's soul. Lincoln's conviction was not just political but deeply personal, rooted in a belief in the fundamental equality of all people. His unwavering stance on this issue brought him into direct conflict with Stephen Douglas, a powerful senator who advocated for popular sovereignty, the right of each state to decide whether or not to allow slavery. This ideological clash set the stage for one of the most famous political rivalries in American history. Lincoln and Douglas engaged in a series of legendary debates in 1858. These debates were more than just political theater, They were a battleground for the soul of the nation, addressing the most pressing issues of the time. These debates, held across Illinois, captivated the nation. People from all over gathered to listen, eager to hear the arguments and witness the clash of ideas. They showcased Lincoln's eloquence, his sharp intellect, and his unwavering commitment to the principles of equality and freedom. His performance in these debates solidified his reputation as a leader of great moral courage and intellectual depth, setting the stage for his eventual rise to the presidency. Section 4. The Inevitable Crisis. The Lincoln-Douglas debates catapulted Abraham Lincoln onto the national stage. These debates were a series of 7 encounters between Lincoln and Senator Stephen A. Douglas during the 1858 Illinois state election campaign, which were pivotal in shaping the political landscape of the time. He became a recognized figure, admired for his principles and his powerful advocacy against slavery. Lincoln's eloquence and moral stance resonated with many, making him a symbol of hope for those who opposed the institution of slavery. In 1860, the newly formed Republican Party nominated Lincoln as their candidate for President of the United States. This nomination was a significant moment in American politics, as it marked the rise of a party that was fundamentally opposed to the expansion of slavery. The nation held its breath as the election unfolded. The stakes were incredibly high, and the country was deeply divided. The election was not just about choosing a leader, it was about determining the future direction of the nation. The issue of slavery had driven a wedge between the North and the South. The North, with its growing industrial economy, was increasingly opposed to slavery, while the South, with its agrarian economy, depended heavily on it. The nation was on the brink of collapse, teetering on the edge of a precipice. The tension was palpable, and many feared that the country was heading towards an inevitable conflict. Lincoln's victory in the 1860 election sent shockwaves across the nation. His election was a clear signal that the country was ready for change, but it also intensified the fears and anxieties of those who supported slavery. He had won without carrying a single Southern state. This fact underscored the deep divisions within the country and highlighted the regional disparities in political support. His election was seen as a threat by many in the South who feared that he would abolish slavery and strip them of their way of life. The Southern states viewed Lincoln's presidency as an existential threat to their social and economic systems. The South's fears were not unfounded. Lincoln had been vocal about his opposition to the expansion of slavery, and his election was perceived as a direct challenge to the Southern way of life. Lincoln had made it clear that he opposed the expansion of slavery. He believed that slavery was morally wrong and that it should not be allowed to spread to new territories and states. He believed that a house divided against itself could not stand. This famous phrase from one of his speeches encapsulated his view that the nation could not endure permanently half slave and half free. He argued that the nation could not continue to exist half slave and half free. This belief was at the core of his political philosophy and was a driving force behind his actions and policies. In the months following Lincoln's election, the nation descended into chaos. The Southern states, feeling threatened and marginalized, began to take drastic measures. South Carolina seceded from the Union in December 1860, followed by 6 other Southern states. This act of secession was a bold and defiant move, signaling the beginning of a profound national crisis. The Confederate States of America was formed, with Jefferson Davis as its president. The formation of the Confederacy marked the official split of the nation and set the stage for the impending conflict. The stage was set for one of the darkest chapters in American history, the Civil War. This brutal conflict would test the very fabric of the nation and determine the future of the United States. Section 5. The Fires of War. As the nation fractured and the drums of war echoed across the land, Abraham Lincoln faced his greatest challenge. The country was divided, with brother fighting against brother, and the future of the United States hanging in the balance. The weight of the nation rested on his shoulders. Every decision he made was scrutinized and the pressure was immense. He knew that the fate of millions depended on his leadership. He was tasked with the daunting responsibility of preserving the Union and ending the scourge of slavery. This was not just a political battle, but a moral one, and Lincoln was determined to see it through. The Civil War began on April 12, 1861, when Confederate forces fired upon Fort Sumter in South Carolina. This marked the beginning of a conflict that would tear the nation apart for 4 long years. The nation was plunged into a bloody conflict that would claim the lives of over 600,000 Americans. The scale of the devastation was unprecedented, with entire towns and families being torn apart. Lincoln proved to be a resolute leader during the war. He visited the troops, boosted their morale, and made crucial decisions that would shape the course of the conflict. He held the Union together, navigating political divisions and military setbacks with unwavering determination. His ability to stay focused and committed was a testament to his leadership. He rallied the North to the cause, urging them to fight for the preservation of the Union and the end of slavery. His speeches inspired many to join the fight and to believe in the possibility of a united nation. The early years of the war were difficult for the Union. The soldiers faced harsh conditions, and the morale was often low. Supplies were scarce, and the reality of war was brutal. The Confederate Army, led by skilled generals like Robert E. Lee, won several key battles. Their strategies and tactics often outmaneuvered the Union forces, leading to significant losses. The North seemed to be on the verge of defeat. The losses were mounting, and there were moments when it seemed that the Union might not survive. However, Lincoln never lost faith in the cause. He believed deeply in the principles of freedom and equality, and he was determined to see the war through to a just conclusion. He continued to press for victory, urging his generals to fight with greater vigor and determination. He knew that the war's outcome would shape the future of the nation for generations to come. He recognized that the war was not just about preserving the Union, it was about ending the moral evil of slavery. This was a fight for human dignity and the soul of the nation, and Lincoln was unwavering in his commitment to this cause. In January 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, a bold move that declared all slaves in Confederate-held territory to be free. This shifted the war's focus, making it a fight for human rights and justice. The proclamation also allowed African Americans to join the Union Army, adding much-needed strength to the Union forces. Their bravery and dedication played a crucial role in the eventual victory. Lincoln's leadership and vision were further exemplified in his Gettysburg Address, where he eloquently reaffirmed the principles of liberty and equality. His words continue to resonate as a powerful reminder of the nation's ideals. Through perseverance, strategic leadership, and an unwavering commitment to justice, Lincoln led the Union to victory. The war ended in April 1865, and the nation began the long process of healing and reconstruction. Abraham Lincoln's legacy as a leader who preserved the Union and ended slavery endures to this day. His courage and vision continue to inspire generations, reminding us of the enduring power of justice and